Top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts Bringing Value Home. Election fraud trial update. Minister Parag highlights alleged irregularities in 2020 elections. Duck, gravy, and who's getting nervous? Mohammed fires back at President Ali. Border villagers called on to remain vigilant, share information ahead of Venezuela's planned elections. And JANKI says no to oil spill bill, cites several clauses contrary to Guyana's legal obligations. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Tuesday, May 20, 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. This is what you need to know this evening. The courtroom proceedings surrounding Guyana's contested 2020 elections continued on Monday. Your top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts Bringing Value Home. Election fraud trial update. Minister Parag highlights alleged irregularities in 2020 elections. Duck, gravy, and who's getting nervous? Mohammed fires back at President Ali. Border villagers called on to remain vigilant, share information ahead of Venezuela's planned elections. And JANKI says no to oil spill bill, cites several clauses contrary to Guyana's legal obligations. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Tuesday, May 20, 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. This is what you need to know this evening. The courtroom proceedings surrounding Guyana's contested 2020 elections continued on Monday with day 10 of the ongoing election fraud trial. Local government minister Sonia Parag was called as a second witness, offering a detailed insight into the controversial tabulation process at GCOM's command center, the Ashman's building. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
Day 10 of the election fraud trial resumed with the second witness, Minister of Local Government Sonia Parag, taking the stand. Parag, who was a PPPC candidate during the 2020 elections, detailed her observations during the tabulation process at the Ashman's building, which served as the GCOM command center. In her testimony, Parag stated that she witnessed what she deemed were efforts by GCOM staff to alter the results, specifically by deducting votes from the PPPC and adding votes in favor of the then incumbent APNU-AFC coalition. She told the court that she raised strenuous objections to the process. According to her, others in the room, including current minister within the office of the Prime Minister, Kwame McCoy, also voiced objections. Parag further recalled that while objections were being made, other individuals in the room attempted to counteract them. She identified former GCOM official Mitchell Miller, one of the accused, as the individual who read out vote numbers from what appeared to be a spreadsheet, raising suspicions about the authenticity of the figures being announced. Earlier in the day, the court heard the re-examination of the first witness, Rosalinda Rasool, who was asked a series of follow-up questions by the prosecution. Lead prosecutor Lachmi Mohammed later informed the court that Minister Parag will not be available on Wednesday due to official duties. In her absence, the prosecution will call its third witness, Kian Jabor, a member of Innu and United Guyana. The charges in this case stemmed from extensive investigations into the controversial 2020 elections. Several former GCOM officials and political operatives are on trial, accused of conspiring to rig the election outcome. In total, the defendants are facing 19 charges related to alleged electoral fraud. The prosecution has indicated its intention to call approximately 73 witnesses over the course of the trial in support of its case. Tiana reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Tiana. Interpreting a vile jab to be directed at him, businessman Azruddin Mohammed fires back at President Irfan Ali, saying he is the one who is getting worried over, quote, his goose getting cooked, end of quote. You'll hear more from Travis Chase.
Instead of using the opportunity to address critical issues affecting Indigenous people and their communities, President Irfan Ali resorted to using the National Tushaus Council Conference for political attacks and personal innuendo directed at his friend, now political foe, Azruddin Mohammed. In a sordid attempt at comedy, President Ali tried to create an analogy between a childhood story of neighbors stealing poultry and acts of philanthropy. He implied that persons who are claiming to be philanthropists were in fact stealing and offering the public a small portion of the loot.
Imagine you steal $10 billion. You didn't pay $10 billion in your taxes. And then you decide, I love you. I am now in philanthropy. And I give you some gravy. That makes sense?
The president went on to call on God as he attempted to hammer his point home.
You ain't giving no meat or no bone. You're giving the gravy. And then you say, it's philanthropy. My God, have mercy on thy soul. That is not philanthropy. That is exactly what it is, the old-time dog thief.
Even though the head of state did not name anyone, Azruddin Mohammed interpreted the comments to be directed at him and issued a stinging rebuttal via his Facebook page. Mohammed wrote, quote, I have never stolen from the people of this country. While the president seeks to divide and deflect, I remain committed to uniting Guyanese from all walks of life and ensuring that development is inclusive, respectful, and free of theatrics. The businessman added that, quote, the indigenous people of Guyana deserve better than staged performances and personal vendettas at their most important forum. They deserve leadership that listens, not lectures, that uplifts, not undermines. The businessman has already given a strong indication that he intends to participate in the upcoming general elections. That indication has since been a worry for the People's Progressive Party civic government. He has been the subject of much controversy in relation to sanctions against him and his father by the United States over alleged underdeclaration of gold exports and his tax issues with the Guyana Revenue Authority. On that note, the businessman said in response to the president's duck story, quote, as for the duck thief story, it's clear who's cooking, who's afraid their goose is getting cooked, and who's getting nervous about the gravy. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Meanwhile, a number of Indigenous leaders shared several important issues they are hoping the government will address during the ongoing National Tushaus Council Conference. Nightly News' Antonio Day spoke with several village leaders on day 2 of the Indigenous Caucus.
David Wilson, Tushau of Akowini Village, Region 2, asked that more focus be placed on infrastructure development in his village, even as he acknowledged other developments taking place there.
More of infrastructure with roads, because we want to be linked to the other rest of villages through road, and so that we could embark more in tourism.
Wilson stated that although these issues were brought up at previous meetings, he's hopeful they will be resolved. He also noted that this is not the first visit to the National Tushaus Council Conference, NTCC. Given that Akowini is well known for its athletic pursuits, the village Tushau stated that additional infrastructure development is required in this regard.
Did you get a chance to highlight at the NTC?
Yeah, previous years. Yeah, and I'm here again to make that same request.
According to Ryan Ambrose, Tushau of Pataranau Village in Region 9, his village is frequently experiencing flooding, which causes significant damage to roads, bridges, and culverts.
That's right, we don't have a proper road to go in there. We had, right, because of the heavy rains, the bridges, the culverts tend to wash away.
He highlighted that another challenge Pataranau is facing.
To the farm, right, in agriculture, we have a lot of pests, wild animals destroying our farm crops. But now we are trying to focus on savanna farming to at least minimize the challenges we face in the bush islands.
Ambrose said as the village is currently engaging in savanna farming, he's anticipating great support from the government through funds generated from the Low Carbon Development Strategy, LCDS.
Where we bring up our concerns, especially from the hinterland. Not big concerns, but especially in health, education, we bring to the table what we want to see improve. My community is facing a little land issue where we wanted an extension, but I know it's coming through. The government is working on it.
This feedback on the NTCC was provided by Ozias James of Apatiri Village, Region 9. I'm Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Join us after this break for more news.
Meet Mom. She's not just the wake up at the crack of dawn, make breakfast and pack bags kind of mom. She also gets her fitness game on. Yeah, she's the don't let anyone forget anything kind of mom. At the same time, she's the runs her own business, clothes, and deals kind of mom, who finds time to get down and boogie with the kids after school, remodel the house, bake cake, host dinner, and even play her favorite game at the end of the day kind of mom. So let's celebrate Mom, because to us, she's so much more.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover solutions station that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc. powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
With 70% ethyl alcohol, Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer eliminates 99.99% of all germs and even moisturizes in the process, leaving your skin clean and hydrated. Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer. How do you stay clean?
The moment is coming. He has the ball. Will he make the shot? And he made it. Goal! This is the biggest win we've seen in ages. Feel the rush with every bet and win big. Play online at www.ibetgamesui.com.
With iBet Supreme, every game is your game. iBet to win with iBet Supreme.
Must be 18 years and older to bet.
Visit Gaffur's Tiles and Sanitary Ware Department for stunning designs and the best in wall and floor tiles for your kitchen, bathroom, outdoor, steps, living room, and more. The Tile Department also provides products to clean, polish, and protect your tiles. Tile trims to give your tile area a complete look. Tint sets for both porcelain and ceramic tiles, along with a variety of grout colors. Not forgetting tile paste to lay tiles on wood and concrete surfaces. Our line of products combine the ideal blend of style and innovation and meet the needs of every customer. We stock a vast variety of kitchen sinks, basins and faucets, toilets in a variety of colors and designs, along with every accessory to accentuate. Stylish double-mirrored bathroom cabinets, clear and frosted bathroom doors and enclosures. Remember, for secure customer services, superior quality and competitive prices, it's Gaffur's, the name you can trust.
Welcome back. You're watching the HGP Nightly News. As tensions continue to escalate over Venezuela's planned election in Guyana's Essequibo region, Chief of Defense Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, Brigadier Omar Khan, has called on indigenous villages near the border to remain vigilant and assist the military by sharing any relevant information on developments across the frontier. More details from Tiana Cole.
During his address, Brigadier Khan urged indigenous villages, especially those along the border with Venezuela, to alert the Guyana Defense Force of any suspicious activities or movements linked to the election efforts being pushed by the Spanish-speaking neighbor. His remarks came during the second day of the annual National Tushao Council NTC conference on Tuesday, just days before Venezuela's controversial May 25 vote.
I want you to be vigilant. I want you to tell us to turn right, to turn left, what kind of decision that we should make.
The Chief of Defense Staff noted that the military is already receiving reports from various communities, including video footage showing developments across the Venezuelan border.
People are taking videos of what's happening on the other side and send it to me. Send it to the commissioner. We want to know when to turn left and when to turn right. And we need your support.
He emphasized that timely information from those living in border villages is critical for making well-informed decisions that will aid national security.
Give us the information. Tell us what's happening. And all of us will go back to that ecosystem and realize how lovely we are as a people, and our destination is one of prosperity and peace.
The call for cooperation comes as the Venezuelan government, led by Nicolas Maduro, continues to defy a recent ruling handed down by the International Court of Justice, ICJ. On May 1, 2025, the ICJ ordered Venezuela to suspend its planned regional elections for the Essequibo region, a territory internationally recognized as part of Guyana. In response, the Venezuelan government formally rejected the ICJ's decision, reaffirming its refusal to acknowledge the court's jurisdiction or abide by its rulings. Tianako reporting for the HGP Night 3 News.
Meanwhile, U.S. Ambassador to Guyana Nicole Thieroth, while addressing the Private Sector Commission's annual general meeting on Tuesday, reaffirmed the U.S.'s commitment to standing with Guyana in eradicating criminal elements along the Guyana-Venezuela border. Ambassador Thieroth said this is, quote, due to the Sindicatos' acts of aggression against the GDF patrolling the Cayuni. These are criminals engaging in criminal activity, and the United States stands ready to support the GDF in its efforts to eradicate this activity along Guyana's frontier and to ensure the safety and security of Guyana's people, end of quote. The ambassador's comments come a week following 3 brazen attacks on members of the Guyana Defense Force who were patrolling the Cayuni River bordering Venezuela. According to the GDF, ranks were attacked by men in civilian clothes from the Venezuela side of the border. No injuries were reported, and the Army said ranks used a measured approach in dealing with the situation. More news after this break. Stay with us.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. CITES waste management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call CITES Waste Management today at 218-1455.
It's the grand finale you don't want to miss.
Capisa Cool-Out Beach Party is the ultimate way to wrap up
HJ's and Genesis Independence Weekend
2025.
Performing live, dancehall sensation
Mally Dawn,
soca superstar Voice,
Guyana's Princess,
Omaya Hall,
and the Mr. Rubber Waist,
Jumo Primo.
Get your tickets at all regular ticketing locations.
General admission $4,000. Stage your front
$15,000.
Gates open from 5 p.m. Be there as we bring the curtains down
on a weekend of unforgettable moments.
Powered by Hits and Jams,
Capisa Drinks,
Enet,
Churches,
Jay's Auto Imports,
Jai Signs,
Star Rentals,
Coors Light,
Stag Beer,
Cricket Carnival,
Guyana Cruise Effects,
Blackwater Security,
and One Guyana. Capisa Cool-Out Beach Party.
Cass, the band, is ready to heat up Genesis Independence Weekend 2025
at El Dorado, singing Nettles with all his hit songs,
along with the king of steam, Young Brother,
Guyanese chutney stars, Bacardi Sin,
and Tony Cott,
Road March Queen, Omaya Hall,
and our very own Quasi Ace, backed by the Fame Band.
The question is, are you ready for the heat?
On Thursday, May 22nd, as the sun goes down, the temperature rises at the Marriott Hotel parking lot
with the hottest soca and chutney performances and Guyana's finest El Dorado rum.
Free all night long.
Drink responsibly, 18 years and older.
Gates open from 6 p.m. sharp. Showtime, 9 p.m.
Early bird tickets. General, $5,000. El Dorado rum included.
VIP, $35,000. Premium El Dorado rum and complimentary food included.
Sponsored by
El Dorado rum,
King Leo Promotions,
Exxon Mobil,
Churches,
Enet,
Jay's Auto Imports,
Blackwater Security,
Giraffe Coffee,
Star Rentals,
Coors Light,
Stag,
Jai Signs,
Guyana Fest Cruise,
One Guyana,
and Cricket Carnival. Cass, the band, is ready to heat up Genesis Independence Weekend 2025
at El Dorado, singing Nettles with all his hit songs,
along with the king of steam, Young Brother,
Guyanese chutney stars, Bacardi Sin,
and Tony Cott,
Road March Queen, Omaya Hall,
and our very own Quasi Ace, backed by the Fame Band.
The question is, are you ready for the heat?
On Thursday, May 22nd, as the sun goes down, the temperature rises at the Marriott Hotel parking lot
with the hottest soca and chutney performances and Guyana's finest El Dorado rum.
Free all night long.
Drink responsibly. Responsibly, 18 years and older.
Gates open from 6 p.m. sharp. Showtime, 9 p.m.
Early bird tickets. General, $5,000. Eldorado rum included.
VIP, $35,000. Premium Eldorado rum and complimentary food included.
Sponsored by
Eldorado rum.
King Leo Promotions.
Exxon Mobil.
Churches.
Enet.
Chase Auto Imports.
Blackwater Security.
Giraffe Coffee.
Star Rentals.
Coors Light.
Stag.
Jai Sign.
Guyana Fest Cruise.
One Guyana.
And Cricket Carnival.
Meet Mom. She's not just the wake up at the crack of dawn, make breakfast and pack bags kind of mom. She also gets her fitness game on. Yeah, she's the don't let anyone forget anything kind of mom. At the same time, she's the runs her own business, clothes, and deals kind of mom, who finds time to get down and boogie with the kids after school, remodel the house, bake cake, host dinner, and even play her favorite game at the end of the day kind of mom. So let's celebrate Mom, because to us, she's so much more.
You're watching the HGP Nightly News. As we continue, the Working People's Alliance believes the time has come for the government to come clean on the death of Adriana Young. You'll hear more from Travis Chase.
Given the manner in which the death of Adriana Young was handled by the relevant authorities, the Working People's Alliance is urging the People's Progressive Party civic government to come clean, alleging that the government and the Guyana Police Force are aware of the circumstances surrounding the death of the child. Leader of the WPA, Dr. David Hines, made this statement during his party's press conference on Monday.
WPA contends that given the enormous security and intelligence apparatus at its disposal, it is almost impossible for the police and the government to be unaware of the circumstances surrounding Adriana's death.
The WPA joined the call made by other political and civil society leaders for those responsible for Adriana's death to be brought to justice, and that government should cease scripting a premature closure to the case.
The powers that be are clearly protecting the guilty person or persons. The single-minded rush to rely on the findings of the autopsy regarding the cause of death only heightens popular belief that the government is determined to script a premature closure to the issue. WPA therefore calls on the government to come clean. The government's legitimacy irreparably suffers.
There have been calls for the government to call in the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation to probe the circumstances surrounding the death of the child. President Irfan Ali has already indicated that the government is not prepared to do so and has already acquired the services of a retired Canadian investigator. Something is not right, senses the WPA.
WPA therefore calls on the government to come clean. Come clean. Come clean. The stability of the country hangs in the balance.
Adriana had been reported missing on Wednesday, April 23, 2025, after she visited the Doubleday Hotel with her grandmother and other relatives. Despite a search shortly after her disappearance, her body was not found until early Thursday morning, floating in the same pool that had been searched the day before.
WPA salutes Adriana's family for resisting the cajoles of the government to acquiesce to what would have amounted to an endorsement of a cover-up of the death of their loved one.
The family of Adriana Young is preparing to have her body flown overseas for a second autopsy. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Travis. Antonio Day tells us that Attorney-at-Law Melinda JANKI has written President Irfan Ali requesting that he withhold his approval for the oil spill bill, which was passed in the National Assembly on Friday, May 16, 2025.
In a letter seen by this newscast, international lawyer Melinda JANKI said that the bill is contrary to Ghana's international legal obligations and is unconstitutional. According to JANKI, the drafter of the bill clearly had no idea about Ghana's international law obligations. She went on to cite Article 149J of the Constitution, which requires the state to take reasonable legislative measures to protect the environment, including preventing pollution and ecological degradation. This law is a vital step in defending Guyana's environment against the increasing dangers posed by the expanding oil and gas industry. It was introduced by Prime Minister Mark Phillips and passed without the opposition's backing, citing multiple flaws. The Prime Minister persuaded the National Assembly's 103rd session that this legislation will be effective.
And ensuring all operators bear full responsibility for environmental protection. The passing of this bill signals our nation's commitment to sustainable development and environmental stewardship.
However, Shadow Natural Resources Minister Sherwin Holder criticized the bill, citing the lack of a precise notification schedule for spills under Clause 14 of the bill, claiming that the current permit requirements are stronger. Additionally, he criticized the government for permitting ExxonMobil Limited to surpass the production safety limit.
Why are they bending to the demands of the oil companies? How can you now say that you are doing everything possible to prevent an oil spill? Are you not concerned? And this is my question to the government.
But Prime Minister Phillips said the purpose of the law is to reduce the potential environmental risks associated with the increasing scale of petroleum operations and shipping activities in the country's waterways. Holder further criticized Clause 17, which describes liability, arguing that it hypocritically reflects calls for unrestricted liability coverage that the government previously opposed in court. Meanwhile, Alliance for Change members David Patterson and Chair Duncan also objected to the bill, deeming several clauses ambiguous. I am Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Antonio. Stay tuned for regional news.
Turbo with a new look, new style, with the same great taste in the 250 ml can. Everybody run out now. Go and go grab one. Me charge up with a turbo 250 ml at your favorite spot. Wait, sell. New look, new can, same vibes. Jinxing, energize up your life. Vibes up, work time, anytime we are turn up the party with turbo can. Turbo can, turbo can, turbo can. Now available in the new 250 ml can. Turbo energy drink. Charge up today.
It's that time of the year to unleash your creativity, unleash your style, unleash your vibes.
Hits and Jams Entertainment presents the biggest fashion event of 2025.
Soca and Wine.
Fashion Unleashed.
Wine, 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 wine. Soca and Wine. Soca and Wine. Soca and Wine. Unlock your fashion sense and let's party together in a world where fashion meets music and the widest array of wines. Soca and Wine 2025.
Fashion Unleashed.
On Sunday, the 25th of May.
At the Marriott parking lot.
Super early bird tickets, $10,000. Available at www.hjexperience.com and HJ Box Office. Soca and Wine 2025.
The Ministry of Education wishes to announce that the Because We Care Cash Grant and the Uniform and School Supplies Grant will begin distribution from May 12, 2025. Please note, however, that distribution will begin later in May and in some cases June for certain regions. Therefore, we encourage all parents and guardians to consult the published distribution schedule to confirm when their grant will be available.
So, what's being given this year?
The grant has been increased to $55,000 per child. This includes $50,000 for the Because We Care Cash Grant and $5,000 for the Uniform and School Supplies Grant.
Who qualifies for this grant?
All public and private school learners from nursery year 1 to grade 10 who are registered and attending school are eligible. In grade 11, only students who will register for CAPE grade 12 in September qualify, along with current grade 12 students who will be continuing to grade 13. For children entering nursery this year, they must have been registered by March 28, 2025.
How do I collect the grants?
The parent or assigned guardian of the child can uplift the grant at the child's school. Just make sure to bring a valid form of ID, your national ID card, passport, or driver's license.
What if I don't have any of those IDs?
No worries, your identity can be verified by a senior official in your community, such as the school's principal or village tusho.
Suppose I can't go myself to collect it. What then?
You can authorize someone else to collect the grant on your behalf.
What happens if I miss the date?
If you miss the scheduled date at your school, a later collection date will be announced, but this will only happen after the national distribution is completed, so it's best to collect it as scheduled if possible. Got more questions? Check the Ministry of Education's social media pages or contact your child's school for more information. In service to you, because we care.
Good evening and welcome to Tuesday's edition of the Regional News. Beginning with news in Jamaica. The police are reporting a 41.5% decline in murders since the start of the year. The latest Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF periodic crime statistics review shows that 257 people were killed up to Saturday, May 17, 2025, when compared to 439 murders that were reported for the corresponding period of 2024. The St. Andrews South Police Division leads the island's murder count with 35 cases. This represents a 2.8% decrease when compared to the 35 homicides that were reported in the division up to March 17th of last year. The police division recording the biggest decline in murders nationally is Hanover, which saw a 75% decrease. Numerically, the parish has recorded 5 homicides this year compared to 20 over the same period in 2024. Brazil, the world's largest poultry exporter and main poultry meat importer into the European Union, is no longer allowed to ship poultry and meat products to the EU due to the outbreak of bird flu, the European Commission on Monday said. This comes after Brazil confirmed its first outbreak of bird flu on a poultry farm on Friday, triggering protocols for a countrywide trade ban from top buyer China and state-owned restrictions for other major consumers such as Japan. Brazilian Agriculture Minister Carlos Favero said on Friday that under existing protocols, countries including China, the European Union, and South Korea would ban poultry imports from Brazil for 60 days. Of total EU poultry imports, Brazil is the main origin, with a share of 32% last year, according to official EU data. However, the volume remained rather thin, with most of the EU consumption supplied locally. And finally, with some news in the Middle East. At least 38 Palestinians were killed in a series of Israeli airstrikes across the Gaza Strip during a half-hour period overnight, according to Palestinian medics. Israeli warplanes struck several locations, including a school in eastern Gaza City and an abandoned fuel station, sheltering displaced families in the central Gaza's Nuseirat refugee camp, according to Hamas-run civil defense agency. It added that rescue teams were facing major difficulties reaching the wounded due to a lack of equipment and the intensity of the bombardment. The attack comes after Israel issued a sweeping evacuation order for civilians in Gaza in preparation for what it said was an quote-unquote unprecedented attack. Thank you for watching. I am Antonio Day.
Election of fraud trial update. Minister Parag highlights alleged irregularities in the 2020 elections. Duck, gravy, and who's getting nervous? Mohammed fires back at President Ali. Border villages called on to remain vigilant, share information ahead of Venezuela's planned elections. And JANKI says no to oil spill bill, cites several clauses contrary to Guyana's legal obligations. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm ALETHEA Grant. Thanks for watching. Your top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts Bringing Value Home. Election of fraud trial update. Minister Parag highlights alleged irregularities in 2020 elections. Duck gravy.